G'day and welcome to another video. In today's lesson we will learn how to make the traditional granny square. You can make it all in the same colour, but for this one I chose 4 shades of blue. So let's get started on the lesson. To make your granny square, and if you want to make it look like this, you're going to need 4 shades of the one colour. So I've got 4 shades of blue, and I've used white to edge my granny square. You can add as many rows as you like, but I will show you just the basic rows to start you off. And of course you can keep going and make this one big afghan, or you can make lots of smaller squares and join them together. So let's get started on the first row. So I'm grabbing my lightest colour that I have, and we can start with a magic ring, or we can chain 4 and join. So to make a magic ring, we just wrap the yarn around our fingers, grab the loop there, still holding on to the loop, putting your hook through the loop, pulling up. I like to chain 1 just to secure that off. And we need 3 chains all together. So we've got 1, so that's 2 and 3. Yarning over, working 2 double crochets into the loop, so into the center of the loop there. Going to work 2 double crochets, chain 1, work 3 double crochets into the center of the loop, so that's yarning over, going into the middle. We want to work 3 of those. Chain 1, 3 more double crochets into the center of the loop, chain 1, and altogether we need 4 lots of 3 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3. Working the 4th one, so that's 3 double crochets into the middle, chain 1, then we can pull in the center there. If you've worked your chain 4 you won't need to do that, and then we're going to join to the top of the chain 3. So what that means is that the top of the chain 3 is up here at the top, so going into the chain stitch and then working a slip stitch to join. I'm just pulling on the back of that again to make that center close up more. And that is the first row, or I should say first round, of our granny square. If you're using the same colour, you're going to slip stitch across. What we do is we slip stitch into the next 2 stitches and then into the chain 1 space, and then we will start the next row from now on. Well, I'm going to finish off this colour, I'm not going to continue on. So what I need to do is cut my yarn and then secure my yarn off like that. We're going to sew in our tails, or we can do it at the end. I'll show you on the first one. To sew your tails in, you're going to find your needle. So threading your needle, turning it over to the back. I like to try and thread my yarn through underneath the stitches down there. So I'm going to work my yarn down to there, and then just go underneath these stitches. Don't pull too tight, otherwise it will go out of shape. And working under these stitches like that. You want to work your way all the way around. And you can sew in the whole tail if you like to, but I like to sew in at least 1 inch. That's the minimum I would sew in, is 1 inch. because you do not want it to come undone. Snip off your end. There we go. Pull that one tight, and then you can sew this one in too. So there we go, we've got a little centre, and that doesn't use much yarn at all. So next you're going to grab your next colour, which will be your next darkest colour. If you're going to work it like the square I've got, you can use any colour you like, of course. We're going to go into there. So we're joining in a chain 1 space, which is in the corner here. Now if you've made a granny square before, you may do a chain 2 in the corner. I find with my loose tension that chain 1 in the corner is enough for me. But if I work a chain 1, a chain 1 is enough for me, but if I make a chain 2 it becomes too loose. So we've all got different ways of making granny squares. This is the way I do mine. So chaining 3, pulling down on the back thread, make sure that's secure. We're going to work 2 double crochets into that chain 1 space. Chain 1, three double crochets into that chain 1 space. And that is our first corner. The chain 1 is the corner, like that. So we've got to work 4 corners on this because it's only small at the beginning, and that's how many we need to work for the second row. So 4 corners. So yarning over, finding the next chain 1 space, which is here. Work 3 double crochets. We're going to chain 1. What I like to do is, I find when I crochet that all my crochet work is over on this side of the corner, so I like to just pull down on this bit here, and I'm grabbing this bit just to make a little space there so that I can fit the other 3 stitches in. So it's 3 more double crochets. That's just a habit that I've got into. I always do that on the corner. So working over to the next one over here, working another corner, which is 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. So you can see it's making a square now. Over on the next chain 1 space, which is here, work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. I like to move them over just a little bit. It won't move too far, but so that's 3 of those. And then we're joining to the top of the chain 3. So remember that the top's up here. So we're joining into there. And what you'll find is if your granny square is sitting like a bowl and is not sitting flat, that means you may need to add chain 2 in the corners, on all the corners. Okay? Or you could use a bigger crochet hook, but mine will actually sit flat. And this is the way I do mine, so I know it's going to stay flat. But if it's the first time you're making it and it's starting to look nothing like a flat square, more like a bowl, you might need to put chain 2 in your corners. Okay? So that's just a little tip if your square's not laying flat. So we're going to change colour, so we're going to cut our yarn. And pull through. I'm going to sew my ends in at the end, because that's how I roll. So now we're going to join our next colour. So if you were using the same colour, you slip stitch into those 2 stitches and into the chain 1 space, and then we will continue on with what we're doing now. So we need to grab the next colour. This is my next colour. Lay it on the hook, pull through, chain 1 to secure. So it's 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I'm just going to grab some yarn. And we're working 2 double crochets into the chain 1 space. Chain 1. So that's where you would do your chain 2 if you need to. But I'm just going to be using a chain 1. So it's 3 double crochets into the corner. And all the corners are worked exactly the same. Apart from that first one, you do your chain 3, but you're still at the 3 stitches, chain 1 and then 3 stitches. But now, because we're on the next row, we've got a gap here. And there's one there, and one there. And on each row around, you're going to get one more gap. So this has only got 1 gap, so what we need to do is work 3 double crochets into the space. So actually going right into that hole there, working 3 double crochets. Chain, oh, sorry, not the chain 1 yet, is it? Getting too excited. So into the next corner space, so it's a chain 1 space there, 3 double crochets, now we work our chain, and 3 double crochets. So I just pull it over a little smidge. Now we have another hold here, so we're going to work into that space. Yeah, put the hook right in the hole like that. Work 3 double crochets. Up to our corner over here, so we're working a corner. So it's 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then 3 double crochets. We've got another gap here, so we're going to work into here. I'm sure you've got it by the now, because we've just worked, this is our 3rd side. We've got our next corner, so work that one. Chain 1, then 3 more. And we've got 1 more space, so work that one. And we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3. It's looking good, isn't it? It's getting bigger. Mine's laying flat. We're going to change colour again. There's lots of sewing in ends when you change colour, but I think it looks really good when we change colour. And you can have so many different combinations as well. So looking good so far. Next colour. Now for me, this is my darkest colour, because we've got 4 shades of the blue. So You can join in any chain 1 space around. You could even start in the middle of the row, but I personally prefer to start in the corner. And I've also seen people work this part of the corner first, so do 3 stitches, then go around and then add the last set of 3 and then chain 1 and join. So there's all different ways you can do it, but this is how I do mine. Whatever works for you, I say. So chain 3, 2 double crochets, because that chain 3 counts as our first stitch. Chain 1, 3 double crochets. Now remember how I said you'll have an extra space on the straight section? We've got one here and then one there, so you'll have 2 on this row, the next row you'll have 3, next row you'll have 4, and so on. So I'll show you how to do this. You probably already know what to do, but I'll just show you anyway. Into the space, work 3 stitches, into the next space, work another 3 stitches. Ugh. Into the corner, work your corner. So it's 3 stitches, chain 1, and then 3 stitches. And we're going to repeat this all the way around, working 3 double crochets in each space and then working our corner on our corner. And I will meet up to you when we get back around there. So I've worked my square all the way around, and what we're going to do, we're going to join into the top of the chain 3. And you've probably already done that, so because it's pretty easy to pick it up once you know what you're doing. Okay, so you can work as many rows as you like. You can just keep going, and each row you work around, you'll get 1 more space in between. So see on that row we've got 3, there's 1, 2, 3, and we had 2 on our previous row. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, you can just keep going and going and going and going as big as you want your square, or you can make lots of little ones like this and join them together to make an afghan. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that lesson. Please share your creations on our Facebook page. Please subscribe, as there will be plenty more tutorials to come. I hope you have a great week, and until next time, happy crochet.